The most engaging, impactful, informative, and entertaining talk show ever. Get ready to hear the voices of many local, state, and national artists, musicians, comedians, pastors, athletes, and politicians. It's time for South Florida Live with Jeffrey Brown. The most engaging, impactful, informative, and entertaining talk show ever. Get ready to hear the voices of many local, state, and national artists, musicians, comedians, pastors, athletes, and politicians. It's time for South Florida Live with Jeffrey Brown. All right. Hey, good evening, everyone. Good evening, and welcome to the South Florida Live Podcast. Listen, I'm your host, Jeffrey Brown, and thank you for coming on. And as we always begin, we say, this is the day that the Lord has made. We shall rejoice and be glad in it. Listen, come on in. I hope everyone has experienced peace and blessings on today. If you was at work, I hope you had a magnificent day. You had a powerful day. You had a productive day on today. If you were home, working from home, hope you were focused and committed to do your work from home. Those that work from home, y'all know I tease y'all a lot. But hey, listen, I know you just heard Public Enemy. We got to fight the power to be. Listen, come on in. Do that for me. Hey, listen. Wherever you're viewing me from right now, wherever you're viewing, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, I need you to do me a favor. I need you to go ahead and just like, share, shoot a comment in the comment section. Let me know that you're there, okay? Let me know that you're with us and everything is wonderful. The signal is fine. You can see it's clear and the sound is perfect. All right. So go ahead and do that for me. Those that are viewing by YouTube, do me a favor, will you? Just go ahead and hit the subscribe button, if you will. And once you do that, go ahead and click notifications and click all. That way, every time we go live, guys, you'll get notified that we are on, and you can join us when we go live. Okay? Thank you so much for doing that. Come on in. We got some things to talk about. Hey, I got this amazing guest with me tonight. Oh, you do not want to miss this interview, this episode on tonight. Share it with everybody, Lottie Dottie and everybody. Make sure that they know that the South Florida Live Podcast is on and we are live. Hey, listen, we're going to talk about some things first before I bring my guests on. So come on in, guys. Come on in. I'm going to give you a few minutes because I want to give her all the time that she needs to share with us on tonight. Okay, so come on in. Let's do this. Hey, listen, I know there's a lot of things that's going on in the world, but hey, I hope everyone is staying upbeat, engaged, and just staying upbeat. Let's stay upbeat. Let's stay happy. Let's stay joyful. Don't let anything get us down. Hey, listen, once again, come on in. Those that are coming in, hey, let me know that you're there. I'm saying good evening to you. Say good evening back to me. I appreciate that if you do. Okay. Thank you so much, so much, so much. Hey, I'm gonna give you guys about another 60 seconds. 60 seconds, and then I'm gonna get this thing started, because this stuff, like I said, there's some things I do want to talk about that I want to share with my audience, share with my viewers on tonight that you may not know. Okay, so we're gonna do that. All right, so come on, everybody. I know singing is not my gift. I admit that. Stick to the drums. All right, y'all, come on in. Let's do this. All right. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Let's do this. Okay. All right. It's that time. Okay. Hey, those that are coming in, thank you for the love. Thank you for the hearts. I appreciate that. Keep coming, keep coming, keep coming. While we are waiting, I'm gonna go ahead and get started. Hey, there are some things that y'all that I want to talk about tonight. Y'all know that I said that every time I go live, I'm going to talk about some areas, some things that we need to know about, and that is voting, some voting information. I went to a town hall meeting last night in Little Haiti, and it was called The Truth, and Senator Chevin Jones hosted, and he was the host of it, and he put it together, and it was a wonderful time. We had a great time, great turnout, y'all. It was a great turnout. It was a great turnout. A lot of people, a lot of community people, a lot of community activists, a lot of community leaders were there, and it was great. So there are some things I want to talk about. Y'all know I've been pushing this voting thing, telling everybody you need to make sure that that you prepare to vote, that everything is on point. Hey, y'all, listen. I found this out. This is one of them, dude, did you know? All right. Now, for those of us who have had to renew your license this year, your driving license, and you got there and you renewed. I did mine's online. Online. I didn't do mine in person. I did mine online. So you know how you do it. You renew it and you give information and you make sure your insurance and all that stuff is good and whatnot. And so this time, now I've had my driving license. I am 62 years old. I had my driving license number since I was 15. But once you renew, I don't know if it happened to anybody else. I think it happened to a lot of people. They are giving you a new driving license number. Yes. So those that have not renewed your driving license yet, they are giving you a new driving license number. I don't know if it's because of the new ID license thing that they got going on, or they just playing some games that's gonna play. But my thing is, I always believe it's always better to be safe than sorry. It's always better to know than not to know. Okay, so this is the thing. And I was thinking about it. Listen, I was thinking about it. And those who got their new driving license number, I was thinking about this. What if it's not registered at your election office? What if that number is not registered? What if they don't have that number? Being that you've always had your old driving license, you know they don't grab your driving license and check you whatnot. What if that? So I'm telling people, go right now, don't play around. And I've been telling folks to make sure you check your status and make sure that you're good. So I'm telling everyone right now that's listening to me, that's tuned in, that's locked in, that's viewing this podcast tonight, I need you to go right now and go to dos.fl.gov. dos.fl.gov to check your registration status. Or if not, if you're not technology savvy, you don't think you can do it, call your election office to make sure that you are registered, or your driving license, your new driving license number match, and everything is on point and everything is good. Because I'm going online after we finish. I'm going on, and there's an area I checked it out today, where you can do your update of your voters registration. You can do an update where you can change your if you have changed your address, change your address. And I saw a spot where your driving license. So I'm feeling like if that's the case, you need to go. If you have that new driving license number, be on the safe side, make sure you're good, and put that number in now. Do it now. Don't wait. Don't wait. Make it happen now. You need to do that now. All right. Now, there are some things about to happen in August. We got a governor's race and for the Senate, and a Senate race. All right. Listen, people, this is coming in August, and you need to research and know who your candidates are for the governor race. It's quite a bit. It's a lot of governors, a lot of people that's running for the governor race. But I know two main Democrats that most folks are talking about, and one is Jerry Dimmons, and the other one is David Jolly. Okay. And those two are kind of the ones that everybody's talking about. We know on the other side of the fence, on the Republican side, is that Donaldson dude. That's pray for him. Yeah, pray for him, because he needs prayer. But we need to know not just who's running the governor's race. We need to know who's running for Senate. All right. We know Angie Nix is running for Senate, because she's been loud enough. So we know she's running for Senate. So I'm just telling you, know this stuff. Have an idea. Go research them. I'm not telling you who to vote for. I'm not telling you who you should, select, but I'm just telling you to go research. Go research, know who your candidates are, because come August, that's who's running. It's the Senate and the governor in August. So you need to know who's running. I heard some great things about Mr. Dimmons. I've heard some great things about him. I heard some good things about Mr. Jolly. That he was once a Republican, and then from a Republican he went to independence, and now he say, okay, let me try my chances over in the Democrat world. But I've heard some things. Yes, he is not a Trump supporter. He actually have talked about him and Ron DeSantis and all that crew. So that, they're not feeling him. And Mr. Dimmons was the chief of police in Orlando, in Orange County. Now he's now the mayor of Orange County. Yeah. He's African American. He's a black young man, but I'm not, but even with that, we need to know who's running our candidates. Okay. Now, also, there's a Senate race that's going on that you guys need to know what's happening. June 8th, I believe June 8th, I have it right here. June 8th, I'm sorry, yes, June 8th, there will be a forum. And the forum is in Pompano. Will be in Pompano Beach at Hopewell Missionary Baptist Church. That's Pastor Stanley's church. Hopewell Missionary Baptist Church. That's Monday, June 8th at 7 p.m. And almost all the candidates that's running for U.S. Senate will be at that forum. If you don't have anything to do, if you can pencil in your calendar now, you may need to be there. Yeah. We need to go there. We need to go and find out who is running for our Senate, who are running for Senate, and who's going to be speaking up for us and speaking, for us and fighting for us. We need to know who they are, and we need to talk to them, ask them questions, and see what their policy and where their direction is and what their vision is. Okay? That's what it is. And the one thing about it, y'all, when we get these people in office, that's not the time for us to sit back and just say, okay, we got them in, we're good. No, that's the time for us to really go at them, make sure they stay committed to what they promised and what they said they would do. Hold them accountable for what they're supposed to do for the community, for us, those that have voted and put them in office. Okay, because a lot of times we put people in office, then we just, okay, we're happy that we got them in there, but we don't make them accountable for what they need to do for not just Black Americans, just Black communities, but all community. Okay, that they're covering, that they're over. All right. So that's I wanted to talk about that. Hey, there's another thing that's very important that some of you don't know. There's a vacant seat uh, um, for the 20th congressional district. There's a seat available. That seat was left vacant by Miss McCormick, who end up resigning. So that's Black area, but y'all listen. The dude up in the governor's mansion in May decided that he's gonna try and fix that. Where once again, y'all know this gerrymandering is going on, and they're trying to wipe out all Black leaders or anyone that could, that's a leader or lead, some of our leaders, our legislators, our senators. They're trying to congressmen, congresswomen, they're trying to block that and make everything real tough and hard. We're in a fight. I'm just saying we're in a fight, but we're built for this. We're built for it, and we're ready to fight, because we cannot allow them to just push us over and just do the thing. And I've talked to many about the voting thing, and they feel like, some have said, well, hey man, listen, I don't feel like my vote is going to even change anything. And I told them, I said, out of the 90 million that did not vote during the presidential race, most of them had that same mindset. Most of them was thinking the same way, that their vote wasn't going to change anything. It was not going to matter. So they did not vote. But I always say a no vote is a vote. So that 90 million that did not vote, how you feeling now? What are you saying now? Because now where we are now, I know you thinking about, dog, I wish I would have voted now. 90 million, y'all. I'm going to keep saying that. 90 million of folks did not vote in the presidential race. That's a lot. Because 76 to 78 voted for that dude who's at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. But 90 million did not vote. And I hate to say it, part of that 90 million was our folks. I'm just saying. So listen, y'all. So he has, in May, Ron DeSantis has dismantled the original Palm Beach, Palm Beach County, Broward County layout, calling it egregious race-based gerrymander. Under the new map, watch this, neighborhoods previously in the districts are pulled into surrounding white majority districts. It's called, now this is what they call it when they do that, is cracking. That means Black majority areas that they become weak. Their collectively voting power have come weak. It's weakened now. Listen, the new configuration is entirely within Broward County, because solely most of the cities are such. Most cities, these are the cities that now that's in charge. You got Margate, you got Tamarack, you got Lauderhill, and you got Lauderdale Lakes, along with parts of Fort Lauderdale, Coconut Creek, Coral Springs, Deerfield, and Deerfield Beach, Plantation, Pompano Beach, and Sunrise. And y'all know who's in most of those cities, those little places. Republicans. So now they have shifted this, and the person that's running for that congressional seat, 2020, District 20, it's going to be a fight unless we go out and vote. Okay. I'm moving on. Now, it is said that, now I'm going to give you this. It is said that Deborah Wasserman Schultz, who represents an area now fractioned into 5 districts and whose old district 25 was assigned to a coastal Palm Beach strip where she does not live. So what did that mean? That means she may end up running in District 20. Not that Deborah Wasserman Schultz is not a great lady. She's really looked out for the Black community and everybody. So not that she, not a good person and whatever, but they even shifted her district that she had. They've pulled that rep from under her feet because they know she was for all the people, not just some of the people. So even with her, and they've done it to her. So y'all, we got to be engaged. We got to be informed. We just got to pay attention. We got to stay woke, because if not, y'all, listen. If not, we will be going back. And I've told them I won't go back. I'm not going back. I don't want to go back. I don't want to experience all that stuff that my foreparents experienced, because that's where it's leading to. And I know we're gonna trust in God, we're gonna believe in God, and we know God gonna, but there's just some things that the Lord say that we got to do ourselves. And that means we got to go vote. We got to get in the vote. We got to make sure we get others, our family members, out to vote. We got to do this as a community. All right, I'm gonna do this, and then I'm gonna bring my guests on. I'm gonna play this. I'm gonna play this clip. Let you listen to it. I ran across this clip about sperm whales this sperm whale that gave birth, and it was so amazing that she wasn't left by herself. It was like a community who helped. And I saw something in there. I saw gospel. I saw some church in there. I saw some community in there. I just saw something in this story, and I wanted to play it. And I'm gonna play this, and then we're gonna move on. So if you haven't heard me by now on Facebook, TikTok, about the sperm whale that gave birth, I'm about to make it. As if wells weren't already beautiful, we have captured and they have shared with us a bit more about what their culture entails. Okay, so boom. Scientists have captured something from every angle that we rarely ever see. A sperm whale giving birth in the wild. And she was not alone. So this mother whale is in labor deep in the ocean, and her whole squad just started pulling. Brainium just started pulling up. Not 2 whales, but about 10 different female whales pull up to help this mother in labor. And here's where it all just hits differently. This is where it gets wild, because these weren't just random whales. Scientists have been following this pod for about 20 years. So they know that that's grandma, that's auntie, that's sister. And do you know which whale was there lifting mom up while she was trying to push out this calf? Granny. The whole interaction actually gets wild, because boom, the calf is here, the baby is out. And if you know anything about baby whales, then you know when they get out, that first really important thing they have to do is take a deep breath. And they can't get to the surface alone, they have to be held up. Mom is exhausted. So you know who steps in? The whale squad. The whale squad. And as a community, they collectively, they were lifting up mom, lifting up baby, holding them up. And scientists caught this on camera. And this is where it gets even wilder, because it always gets wilder. Some of the whales that were helping weren't even kin. Have mercy. So there's this big thing in the animal kingdom that's around the survival of the fittest, where animals want to pass on their genes. Animals are constantly working in the wild because they want to pass on their genes. These whales have come together, have created this community, okay? And they're not even related to mom, but they still want to see her win. They still want to see her calf make it. They still want to see her genes get passed on. They're assisting with the birth, supporting the baby, supporting the mom, and they're not even related to her. I don't think people really understand how beautiful and how big this is. They're showing signs of social care, community responsibility.
And they stayed with this baby for hours. The community touched the baby, lifted the baby up so it could breathe, and just stuck around until the baby was able to strongly swim on its own. So I am actually reading the paper right now from the researchers.
I don't know about you guys, but I got something out of that, and what I got out of that, as what I saw, what I got was community coming together, and we're lifting up a candidate or whoever it is that we want to see lifted up, or we want to support. All of us coming together as one. I said it last week. I said we're the most traumatized, the most misunderstood, the most mistreated um, 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 uh, people in this country, but we're the most divided. We're the most divided. We're the most mistreated. We're the most traumatized. We're the most misunderstood and mistaken, but we're the most divided. And this time where we are now, right now at this point where we are in this state, we can't be divided. This is the time that we have to come together and lift each other up, not tear each other down. That's what I got from that, where community came together, community of sperm whales came together and supported this mother, supported the baby, lift them up, just can't, and they didn't know each other. They didn't know, it didn't matter. What mattered was that we were coming to help and we was coming to lift them up and give our support. That's what I saw, support. They were giving their support. All right, so let's do our part. Let's do our part. Let's do our part. Let's do our part. Okay, let's do our part. Hey, listen. Once again, this is South Florida Live Podcast. I thank you for joining us on tonight. I'm gonna get started. I want to get my guests in on this right here. We're gonna bring her on. Yeah. Listen, I'm so excited on tonight to have my friend, my sister, this powerful, y'all, woman of God. Not only that, she is now a new author. It's my sister, it's my beloved friend, the one and only Elder Elsa Evans. Hey, good evening, my sister. God bless you.
Hey, my brother, good to be here with you tonight. And thanks for dropping that knowledge. There's stuff there that even though I try to keep up to date with what's going on, I didn't know about. So thanks for keeping us informed. Because certainly if ever we needed it before, we sure do need it now. Amen.
Yes. That's something that I took upon myself. Everybody can do something. Everybody have, you know, everybody got something they can do. That somebody, can write signs, somebody can write letters, somebody good at making phone calls. I'm just gonna take this little thing that I got, this little platform that I have, and I figured I'll do what I can do to keep people informed and keep my community, my family, and my friends lifted up, because there, like you said, there are some people that do not know. I have a coworker that didn't know what was going on with the Voting Right Act. Didn't know about that. So, what? I say, yeah, they
Wow.
gutted. They did. Who didn't know? Because everybody do not watch news. Everybody do not pay attention, read papers, because there's no thing as newspapers anymore. Everything is about Facebook, Instagram, X, and all that stuff. And most of them scroll, and I say, well, you scroll on Facebook every day, and I know it's there. So that's my fight. That's where I'm at. That's where I'm at.
Awesome.
But yeah, because I didn't know. the driving license thing, I'm like, ooh, that's interesting. So I'm gonna go and check mine. But anyway, so much for that. We ain't coming for that. We came to talk to you and hear from you about this amazing book that you have produced for the people. So hey, listen, let's get right into it. My first question: what inspired you to write it? Your best life ever. Not
Yes, yes, I'm gonna
what inspired you to
flash it a
write
little
it,
bit.
and yeah, what inspired you to write it and give it that title?
Well, this particular title came kind of towards the end, believe it or not, because as I kind of journeyed through the process of writing it, I realized what the Lord was trying to get us to. And so that was by the time I got to the end of it, it's like, oh, so this is what you were after. It's kind of based on John 10:10. The thief comes not but to steal, kill, and destroy. But I have come that you might have life and have it more abundantly. So while the main topic is your title is Your Best Life Ever, the subtitle is A Practical Guide on How to Experience Abundant Life, Christianity, aka discipleship, because that is really what Jesus was headed to. And then, like I said, as I progressed through the writing it, I really like, okay, that's really where Jesus was trying to get us. Like, listen, I came to give you the best life you could ever have on this planet. And so that was kind of part of it. A major part of it was also my experience, Jeff. I had like most people in our era and in our culture, grew up in church. And so I grew up with a clear narrative, in Sunday school and stuff like, understanding that God came to give us this abundant life. And
Right.
so when I went, when I really committed my life to Christ, and committed my life to the church, I discovered that I wasn't experiencing that. And so I really struggled with the fact that I was saved, but I still wasn't, my life wasn't changing. I still wasn't realizing the promises of scripture in my life. And I'm the kind of person where I try to be as authentic as possible.
Right.
And so when that wasn't happening for me, when I wasn't, being made whole, when I wasn't finding peace and joy, when I wasn't being filled with divine purpose, I was like, something is wrong with what is going on in my Christianity. Why is it not what the Bible says it should be? Why am I not having these experiences with God like people had in scripture? And struggled to try to get there, followed the rule of the church, which was, you get saved and then you get busy in church. And I say in the book, I got so busy and tried so hard that I even ended up, with all of the activities I was doing church-wise, I even ended up singing in the church choir, and I can't sing. I'm like you, Jeff. I can't sing worth a lick.
Right.
So after a couple of years of that, I backslid. I left, walked away from Christianity, walked away from God, because I had only been able, with all of my church work and busyness, I'd only been able to experience some degree of success on Sundays while I'm in church. Monday through Saturday, devil beat me to death. Still not happy, still not fulfilled. And so I said to the Lord, listen, I'm dipping, I'm out of here. I said, I'm sure you're not the problem. I must be the problem, but this isn't working for me. I need something that is going to be beneficial and fulfilling Monday through Saturday as well. Sunday only isn't going to cut it from me. And so I walked away from the Lord, walked away from the church, backslid for a number of years, still frustrated with life, still broken. And I know as the Lord started to call me back, I was like, I'm not coming back. So God, you may as well kill me, because that being a Sunday success, but a Monday through Saturday failure isn't going to cut it for me. I said, you know what? Maybe if I die, I'll experience it in heaven, but I'm not going to do that on earth again. And what the Lord had me to understand as he wooed me back was that it wasn't that Christianity couldn't deliver on its promises. It was that there was a malpractice of Christianity that caused me not to be able to lay a hold of the things that God had for me, and the life that God desired and designed for me. And so in a very in an epiphany kind of scenario, the Lord just spoke to my heart and said, what you've been indoctrinated to through the process of church that you've been exposed to has been Christian religion. But I want to show you not only a Christian relationship, but the kind of relationship you need to have with me. If you're going to be all I want you to be, have all I want you to have, and be equipped to do all I created you to do. And so that was a major turning point for me. And that whole walk with God back into the kingdom is really what the book is about. It chronicles the passage from a Sunday go-to-meeting Christian to an abundant life living Christianity. And so that's the kind of cliff notes on what the book is about.
Yeah, because I mean, I've been there too. You know, we've been church babies most of all our life, and and that traditional, that just come to church and do this, and you in this choir, you in this ministry, you in this youth thing, you in that, and like you said, you really didn't get to the point where you had the fullness of what the fullness of what God was really trying to get you, and really how you really supposed to experience him in that fullness. And I'm been there, done that one. I totally understand. But that's great. Wow, that's powerful. Because
one of the things
had a moment where we just like, you know what? I'm done. Let me go.
You know, the sad part about it is we trade in, and I should say, and I know a lot of people have the same story. I traded in the club for the church. So I moved from one tradition to another tradition. And that's not what Jesus said. Listen, man, I came to give you life and life more abundantly. And one of the things that I contend in the book is that this life, the access to that life is through the process of discipleship. Because when we think about it, Jesus came and he said, listen, this is why I came. We know that he is the second Adam, and he came to fix what the first Adam messed up. And when we look at it, what did the first Adam mess up? He didn't have church rituals, etc. He had a relationship with God. He had a divine assignment from God, and he had every provision he needed from God. And so when Jesus came as the second Adam to fix what the first Adam messed up, that is what he came to restore. He came to fix what Adam broke. Now, how did he do that? He came and he said, you know what? I've come to give you this life back. Because remember now, when Adam sinned, we were plunged into death. Jesus came to give us back the life in God that we had. And so how did he do that? He did that by preaching the gospel and then calling those that responded to the gospel to a life of discipleship. And that is really how you get to abundant life. One of the things that the Lord has made so clear to me, and I present in the book as well, is this thought about discipleship. Now, we know the Great Commission. Most Christians know it's in Matthew 28, verses 18 to 20. So Jesus says, listen, this is what I'm leaving you to do. This is what the church is about. He said, go into all the world and teach the gospel, baptizing, etc., etc. Now, what's interesting about that, bro, is the King James Version, and let me just share this information. The King James Version is the only translation of the Bible does not specifically say, go and make disciples. The King James Version, which was written in 1611, says, go therefore and teach all nations, baptizing them, etc.
Right.
Every other translation subsequent to that, because the King James was the first translation into English of the Bible, of the Holy Writ. Every single other translation after that, which was therefore more exposed to the original text, more exposed to the information on how to translate from the Greek, etc., says, and they use the word because even in the original text is that word mathetes. And we know Bishop Curry is, he taught us that 100 times and whatever, but that word is disciple. It literally, so the command now, this is where the big divide, I think, happened, because as the Lord started to work that out and show me that, my question became, how in the world did we lose sight of discipleship? How did that happen in the body of Christ, and particularly in our context? All right. And so that King James Version that many of our grandparents and even us at some points used to swear on was written in 1611, left out the word disciple. So the context then of what we're supposed to be as Christians is a difference between go and teach or go and disciple. Now, you and I, and even I'm sure your audience, those that go to church, there is a big difference, particularly from a biblical standpoint. If we're told as believers that our mission is to teach the gospel versus make disciples of people who believe the gospel,
the difference,
that is where the big divide is. And so where every single other translation subsequent to the King James goes back and does a proper job of interpreting that text and saying, go therefore and make disciples. And that, I think, is where the big divide was, because nobody to this day, most churches you can go into, most Christians we can talk to, they can, if we ask them, how do you get saved? Most of us could tell us how to get saved. And if we're to ask them how to live it, how to become a disciple of Christ, few people know where to go. Even few pastors know where to go as it relates to how do we disciple people. And so the Lord had me to kind of go through the Gospels really, and look at how Jesus discipled, and really how he discipled me. And kind of work through that. And so, that's kind of like where we land in the book for the most part.
I mean, because that is so important. I'm glad because I think it was last year I did an episode. We talked about discipleship, how to disciple, the importance of discipling, and what it looks like the discipling in the 21st century. Because where it was before, we kind of got, like you say, we got away from it. We got away from it, and that's something that we have to bring back. It's about discipling. That is like a mentor having mentees.
Exactly.
And in those mentees, you're building those mentees. That mentor is building those mentees to go and make more mentees.
Exactly.
And those mentees grab it and get it and grow in it, and they're to go get more and build more mentees. And that's something that we as a church have gotten away from, building disciples, for disciples to go and disciples others, not just to keep it to yourself and brag that you know the word so well and you're so strong in the word, but it's for you to grab some more that you know. And that's why I said go out. Go out.
Yeah.
And it didn't say go inside the church, go out. And not beat folks with the Bible, beat them with the word, but invite them and introduce it to them. And that way, by introducing it to them and introducing the word and introduce the Christ to them, you bring them in and you start schooling them, you start mentoring them, and for them
Exactly.
to go out. That's the thing. We're supposed to mentor them for them to
Mhm.
go out and mentor
Mhm.
others.
Exactly. You know
But
that I mean, mentoring is really a modern day word for discipleship
yeah,
because again, we look at that relationship that Jesus had. So the first day they heard Jesus preach, the disciples, they got saved. That happened
hmm
in one day. He spent 3 years discipling them. So the two are distinctly different. And I think it becomes really important for Christians to understand that when I get saved, that's where I start. That's day one. The
right,
rest of my life is supposed to be this process of being mentored by the word, by the Holy Spirit, by my senior pastors or the teachers in my church. And so there is the life. If we look at the Christian convert, that happens one day. A Christian disciple is a lifestyle. And that word mathetes has two particular meanings. It's a learner, and then it's also an adherent. So not
right,
only am I learning the word, I'm learning about God, but I'm also learning how to adhere, how to build my life on this word that I learned. Because again, Jesus's expectation was, now that you know, now
right.
I need you to do it. So he didn't just teach to teach, he taught for them to live. And then he said, okay, now when I'm gone, here's your purpose. Your
hmm
purpose is to turn converts into disciples by presenting the gospel and
Right,
then teaching them how to live this
right,
life that I'm showing. And when we start living that life is really when we begin to experience abundant life, because
right,
that's when we begin to experience the life. So it's an
right. Wow.
experiential relationship with God.
Wow, that's good. That's good. Wow, we almost stay there all night. But so this is my other question. What was the moment you realized this story, this teaching, this book needed to be shared?
For me, it was when I started now what's interesting, and I don't say this to denigrate any one that I've worked with, a church I've been to, but I could tell you this, my brother, I didn't learn how to become a disciple in church.
Mm,
In church,
mm,
I got saved. In church, I got busy, but I did not. I wasn't discipled in church.
mm.
I'll tell you what was interesting when I really committed my life to the Lord and, said, Lord, here am I, send me, do in my life what you want. Because I had come, when I got saved, like for real, and you know how it is, we make the joke, we get saved a couple of times, especially with growing up in church. But when I got saved for real, Jeff, I did not want the life I had before.
Mm,
That's why I got saved. I wanted something different.
something different.
And so, but the more I got into church, trying to find that different life, it didn't happen. So I started crying out to the Lord, and I stumbled across a book. I went to a bookstore one day, and I stumbled across this book called "Experiencing God" by Claude T. Blackaby.
Mm-hmm.
And it's just a phenomenal book. I think they've sold millions. But what that did was that started me on the process of understanding that my walk with God was supposed to be something was that was what my life was supposed to be about, and that as I became focused on what he wants me to do and how he wants me to live and start to practice it, it'll
Right.
start moving me into this experience with God. And so, like I said, for me, as I started to experience God, now the book that particular book entered me into an understanding, and it didn't even say it at the time. In retrospect, I see that was my introduction to discipleship.
Right.
And as I learned more, so this is bottom line about how discipleship works. Jesus taught them the kingdom's way of living.
Mm-hmm.
Then he challenged them to
Challenge
live
them.
it.
Right.
Then he sent them out to share it. Then he brought them back and taught them more, etc. So oftentimes in scripture, you familiar with many passages where he'll say, "You have heard it said, X, Y, Z, an eye for an eye, a tooth, for example. But I say, love your enemy, bless those that curse you, do good for those that despitefully use you, etc." Right? So Jesus was doing this whole thing with, this is the way life says do it. This is the way the world says do it. But the kingdom says do it this way. And as we start to practice that, guess what? We get to see that. Now, mind you, before time, I would do eye for an eye, tooth for tooth. But now that I am letting it go, now that I am leaving the vengeance to God, now that I am doing good for them, even though they don't like me, and praying for them, I see God doing a thing where ultimately he starts to make them my footstool. Ultimately, he gets me to the point where, man, listen, they could say whatever they want to say. It doesn't bother me anymore. Ultimately, he gets me to the place where, because I'm not trying to figure out how I can get them back, I'm experiencing this peace and this rest and this absence of anxiety. And so the more we do the word, the more we experience the way God teaches us to live in the word brings about the results, not only that our hearts desire, but that will bring that brings peace to our soul. Then the more I'm inclined to practice it his way and another. So he says, okay, you know what the world says about leadership. Leaders lord themselves over people. Here's what I want you to do. He who will be greatest among you, let him serve. And so now in leadership, instead of me trying to be a big shot, I'm a servant, I'm humble, etc. And so this whole part, so like I said, for me, the process, as I began to realize that the more I live my life in accordance with the word, the better I get to know God, the better my life becomes, the more powerful I become, and so on and so forth. The more answers I have about life, the more solutions I have to the issues that people face in my family, in my life, in around me, then the more it was like, okay, God, I've got to share this, because a lot of people are just like me, where they come looking for this thing, but they don't find it in the places they think they're going to find it. I need to put something together that says to people, hey, you want to live your best life ever? Here's what you need to do. You need to live abundant life Christianity. And the way you do that is through the pathway of discipleship, because it's the only discipleship is the reestablishment of the relationship that God had with Adam and Eve in the garden. The only way it brings us back into close relationship with God, it brings us back into that ongoing daily kind of thing where I live with God, God lives with me, he provides for me, he gives me my purpose, etc. Discipleship is a reestablishment of that relationship. And trust me, there's no better way to live this life. It's amazing. So all of a sudden you were broken. Now God is healing those broken places. Those people who used to, when the thought of them used to bring you pain, it don't bother you no more. Listen, this walk with God, when we do it right, is mind-blowing.
And I want to say this because you keep saying it, and I always tell people that you keep saying about you got to practice it. You got to practice it. Not just practice, but it has to be consistent practice. It has to be consistent in it. You can't do it for 2 days and then you sit it down and don't pick it up until a week later. It has to be consistent. And the more you consistent in the practice, and the more you consistent, the more you push at it, the more you learn at it, the more you start seeing it different. Your eyes start opening up. Your vision starts seeing it a little clearer. Because right now, when you start, that's just like with me coaching kids in track. When we first started practice, it wasn't the best. But the more you kept pushing at it, the more you kept going at it. You didn't see it at first, but once you continued to practice and was consistent in it,
Mhm.
you started to see the product. You started to see the being better at it, and getting stronger at it, and getting faster, and getting strong. You started to see it. It's the same way in your this walk that you say in the discipleship. We have to
Exactly.
practice it on a daily basis, and we got to be consistent in it. So
Yeah, it's
from
it's
that,
really an adoption. It's an adoption of a different
whew,
lifestyle.
wow.
We get saved because we want our lives to be what God created it to be. And but so there's this decision. So even like you said, with the kids that you coach, they when they come to coach, they're coming to coach so coach could make them into what they desire to be.
Right.
One of the chapters I talk about this MTV movie program they had back in the day when MTV used to have programs. It was called Made. And so what these young people, I don't know if you remember that one, Jeff,
Yeah.
but they would connect young people that wanted to be, let's say, a track star, a basketball player, a singer, whatever. They would take those young people and put them with somebody that's already achieved where they're trying to get. And then that person will instruct them and work on them until the end of the show. They have adopted that lifestyle that positions them to be made into this thing that they desire to be. Jesus said to the disciples, listen, y'all already saved. Here's what I need you to do, because I want to make you into something different. You want to be something different, which is why you came to me. He said, follow me. And I will make you.
Right. Fisher.
And so as they started following him, not just physically, but following his teachings, and that's why even in the Great Commission, he says, listen, teach them to do what I taught you to do. Teach them to live the way I taught you to live, because ultimately I want to make them into what I created them to be. And so certainly that's a thing, just this adoption that, listen, I'm not going to get there over. As a matter of fact, the Apostle Paul, as great as he was, he said, listen, this is an ongoing process. Not that I've arrived, but here's what I'm doing. Like you said, Jeff, I press. All right. But it's worth the press. One of the chapters I named, it's not easy, but it's so worth it. It's nothing, but it's so worth it, because you're gonna get this process of living the way God says live as a disciple really ushers you into this amazing life that, like I said, it's just literally mind-blowing. And so for those of us that have did the world, we know what the world has to offer. We came to the church. We want to be more in our walk with God, in our relationship with God. Like I said, I wanted to be everything God said I could be. I wanted to be able to do everything he said I could do. And I wanted to have everything he said I could have. This is the process that ushers you into that. You have to become a disciple. You have to commit to it.
You have to. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Now, I'm gonna ask you this: Are there any common misconceptions people may have about living a fulfilled life that you would address, and you addressed in the book?
Well, again, like I said, I give my own experience of why I walked away with God and how I walked away from God, because what the misnomer in like I said, particularly in our culture in terms of church, is you get saved and you get busy. And so there are people that are, and as long as you get saved and you get busy, I call it churchianity in the book. It's different from abundant life Christianity. You could be busy in church, and listen, if you sincerely, you or I sincerely committed our life to Christ when we walk the aisles, and we did that, and we never become a disciple, we'll go to heaven. But we'll have a hellish existence on earth, because we'll still be broken. We still won't have any answers. We still won't be able to overcome, etc. And so the thing about so the misnomer and the misconception widespread in the church is that salvation, once I get saved, that's gonna do it, because that's what I thought would happen for me. Okay, I committed my life to Christ. Guess what? Now I didn't read in the Bible and saw that they overcame. I didn't read in the Bible balance, or
Right.
that there's peace and joy and all these fruits of the spirit and stuff that I'm supposed to have. I read this in the Bible. Why isn't it happening? I'm as busy as I could be. I'm as faithful to church as I could be. Every time the door opens, I'm there. And I still don't have answers for what's going on with my
Going on in
children.
your life.
I
Right.
still don't have wisdom
Wow.
about how to be the kind of
Wow.
wife I need to
Yes.
be. I still don't know how to face adversity. The Bible says, if you faint in the day of adversity, your faith is small. Many people don't know how to deal with difficulty, period.
Right.
But been saved for 30, 40 years, and something happens and they fall apart. And so the misnomer is that when you get saved, when you get saved, the blood of Jesus Christ is so powerful. If we really trust in it, we will go to heaven. But being a disciple is what brings heaven down to earth in our lives. If I want to experience thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven, I have to go through the pathway of discipleship.
Right.
That's how that happens.
That's
That does
the
not
only way.
happen from
That's
just
the only way.
confessing your sins
Yeah.
and believing in your heart. The
No.
believing in your heart and confessing with your mouth is step one. That's going to get you to heaven.
Right.
But if you
But
want heaven to
discipleship
come
gonna
down
keep
into
you.
your life, into your family, on your job, in your body, in your circumstances, in your spirit, in your mind, then guess what? The pathway to that abundant life is through the pathway of discipleship.
Wow. That's good. That's good. That's good. Wow. This is good. This is my last question. We're gonna close out with this question. What kind of response have you received from some of the readers that have read, if anybody have reached out to you, what are some of the response have you been getting?
So some of the responses, actually the response that I have gotten is really good. One of the things that has surprised me about it though, Jeff, is that and my youth pastor and I talked about this a little bit. How some people don't understand that, something is, how they don't understand that, there's another level to go to. So I'm in church, I'm faithful to church, etc. Granted, I'm still broken and hurting and whatever, and life is still happening the way it is. But I don't understand that there's a next step that I must take. And so part of the feedback has been sometimes, for example, people, I'm having the books or whatever. It's like, well, I'm saved. Do I really need it? So the response from people that have not gotten a book, because they may say, you know what, I mean, my life is not so bad, and that could very well be the case. And that is often the case. You know what, I'm saved. I know I'm going to go to heaven, etc. My life is not so bad. Maybe I don't need your best life ever. And so that's why for me, I went to you may have a good life, but if you're not a disciple of Jesus Christ, you're leaving life on the table. It's like leaving money on the table in a game. One of the things I talk about is, that passage of scripture in Revelation that says that some people will get to heaven and their tears will be wiped away. I believe that part of the reason for that is going to be, some people are going to get to heaven and realize, I could never figure out how to be the kind of husband I was supposed to be. I could never figure out what I needed to do to nurture my children. I could never figure out how to find peace in just who in my life. And they're going to realize that there was more available to me, but I settled for less than God's best. And so my thing is, the surprising thing for me has been how many people, the people that I have encountered that have said, well, my life is not so bad. My thing is, Jesus did not say, I came that you might have life that's not so bad. He said, I came not only that you might have life, but that you might have it more abundantly. So there's that level of life that is full and fulfilling and overflowing and rich and that blesses you on the inside and on the out. I said somewhere in the book that I was sick and tired when I was busy in church being a faithful church person. I was sick and tired of being a public success, but a private failure in my walk with God, in my relationship with God. I knew something was missing. I knew that there was more. And my thing is, I wanted every single thing that God promised in his word that I am supposed to have. I didn't want to leave anything on the table because I wanted to and want to encourage other people to experience life, the life that God has for us at its best. And we never arrive. So we should all be pursuing the next level in God. We should all, until we see Jesus Christ, there's still more that God has that he wants to give you. There's still more that he has that he wants to get to you. There's still more that he has that he wants to do in you. There's still more that he has that he wants to do through you. And so as long as we're pressing towards the mark, like the Apostle Paul said, then we are on the right track. But if we've settled into, I'm okay with where I am in my spiritual walk, then more than anything, you need this book, because that means that you have let go and of what God requires of you, because his objective is that we continue to press towards the mark.
Right. Wow. Because I often tell people, when we quote it so frequently, and we quote it so boldly when we say, let you be prosperous and in good health. And a lot of times they first thing talking about the prosper part is financial. I don't think my thing is just not financial, but being prosper in him and being in good health in him. I know it's prosper and wealth, and, but sometimes we can't look at it as wealth. And by you saying about the disciple thing, about the disciple walk, and that's a part I see it as that being prosper in his word, being prosper in his life, being prosper in the way you live. And because if you're prospering in the way in him, then you will have you would have good success, and
all of the other things will come. That's Matthew 6:33. Seek ye first the kingdom of God and his righteousness, and all these things will be added. Well, you know what? Our righteousness is an ongoing process, but we're to be seeking that. And then God says, listen, once you pursue me and you seek my righteousness, you seek me, I'll add those things. But yes, you're absolutely right. Listen, as long as we're alive, there's more that God has for us. There's more he wants to do through us, and there's more he wants to get to us. And so as long as we're alive, there's that next level in God. There's that next level in God. And that's what discipleship is. Discipleship is this process of learning of God and then walking it out, and the learning of God and then walking it out, and learning of God, and then being the kind of person that then comes alongside of somebody else and says, okay, now I'm going to help you walk it out. And then you get built up in your spirit and you can help other people walk it out, etc. And so it's just, if we are content, we are out of order, and we are falling short of what God has for us. There is no such thing as contentment as a Christian in the sense that I've arrived. The Apostle Paul, not as though I have arrived. And my God, how amazingly did God work through him. All right. So if we are, for anyone that wants more in their walk with God, this book, it will bless your life. One of the things, I'm very practical. So it's very, very practical about prayer, practical about how to study the word and be able to get it really and walk it out in your life, practical about what to expect when you start walking with God, and all those kinds of things. So really and truly, really very proud of, I call it a download from heaven. And I know that it's already blessing so many lives, and I believe that we're just getting started, but discipleship has to come back into the life of the children of God. And all we need to do is look at how Jesus discipled, look at what he did with them, look at what he expected of them, and then follow suit.
Hey, listen, you've been locked into the South Florida Live podcast. I'm your host, Jeffrey Brown, but this is my guest, this amazing woman of God, Elder Elsa Evans, with her book, Your Best Life.
Your best
Uh,
life
your best
ever.
life ever. Listen, let me tell you something, y'all. Let me tell you something. Just what she spoke to tonight uh, concerning this book, you need to go get it. You need to go
Yeah,
get it. If you're
Amazon.com.
talking about walking in the life of the way the Lord wants us to walk and where He's trying to tell us to walk, it's the she's already white. What she's written is for you. If you've been struggling with this, if you've been struggling with this walk, and like she said, you at that point where you like, this ain't happening, this ain't working, I'm doing this, but I don't know what else to do. You got a
Hmm.
book now that you can go get, and I guarantee you it will usher you, it would help you, it will
Hmm.
enlighten you, it would brighten, it would illuminate where you can actually see the walk that you should take and how you should take it in God. So
Hmm.
I encourage everyone that's watching to go get the book, and I believe it's on Amazon.
Yes, it's on
Yeah.
Amazon.com, and Your Best Life Ever, Ilsa Evans or Evans, and it'll pop up there. But yeah, please get it. It will bless your life. It's $20. Somebody said to me is the one of the best $20 they ever spent in their life. Because it's just really such a blessing. Like I said, I just really want to be able to to give people the practical how to's of pursuing everything that God has for them to be, and just experiencing this incredible relationship with God. He saved us to give us an amazing life and an amazing walk with Him.
Yes. Yes. My sister, thank you so much. Thank you so much once again.
Thank you
Hey,
for
y'all.
having me.
No, it was an honor for you to accept the invitation. Pastors that's out there, any minister leaders that's out there, I challenge you and I encourage you to make contact with her. If you can, if you want to inbox me, you
Actually,
want to email me.
it's not up, it's up and running, but it's not as, I just went in and we have to do some tweaking, but I do have a website. It's isevansministries.com. isevansministries.com. You'll see information there on the book. And that kind of thing. And then some workshops that we're getting ready to do, because like I said, bro, the objective is to get discipleship back into the body of Christ, particularly in our context in the Black church. We've done a great job evangelizing. Now we got to disciple the converts, and that's where the power comes. And remember, one of the things that I talk about in the book is the fact that the power was released to the disciples. You
Mm,
don't get that unless you're walking as a disciple, because you
wow.
got to be able to sustain some stuff. So yeah, it's really great. And like I said, thank you so much for having me.
No, my
Please do
pleasure.
get the book. Go on
Yeah.
Amazon, get the book,
Not
because
not
like I said,
not
it's just going to bless your
not
life.
not not only get the book. Those that's viewing, those that watching, not only get the book. I want to pour you to contact her and
Yeah,
invite her to
yeah.
your small groups, to your
Hmm.
sessions, to your church, to your women
Hmm.
group, to whatever. Invite her
Yes.
because I'm telling
Thank
you,
you.
this book is going to bless so many people just from
Yes,
what we're
yes.
hearing now. When you're talking about
Mhm,
walking and creating a discipleship, having that
mhm,
discipleship mind and
mhm,
mentality, that's a whole
mhm.
never another
That's a
level
whole
of
nother
walking
level
this
of
walk with
Christian
Christ.
experience.
Yeah,
Yeah,
whole nother
yeah.
level. So I
Hmm.
encourage you guys not just to get the book,
Hmm.
but contact her and invite her to your church and get her there
Hmm.
because she's I'm telling you, you would thank me later. I'm gonna just say that. Y'all would thank me later. Okay? So go on Amazon.com, Elsa Evans, Your Best Life Ever. Go get the book
Hmm.
right now. It's there. Do it now, if you will. All right, my sister. Thank you. Appreciate you. Blessings on
Same
you.
here.
And thank you once again. We'll bring you back. just not talking about the book, but just turn you
Listen,
loose. Turn you
thank you.
loose.
I appreciate it. Thank you, bro. I
All
love
right.
you. Thank you so much for the opportunity.
My pleasure. Thank you for the accepting the invitation. Hey, y'all. Thank you. Blessings to you, my sister. Hey, listen, y'all been locked into the South Florida Live podcast. I told y'all she was gonna bring it. Once again, don't play. Y'all go get the book. Not only the book, if you need to DM me, I'll help you get in contact with her. But get the book, read it, and I want to hear from you. Give me some testimony, give me some feedback. Let me know how it bless you, because it will bless you. And once again, like I say, invite her. Invite her to your church, invite her to your small groups, wherever you guys are going on, and let her come in and just um, teach, teach and lecture about her book. Not only that, about discipleship, because Lord knows we need it. We need to go back to it. We're missing it. It's not like it used to be. And I think we'll be in a better situation, better place as a church, as a kingdom, if we really focus on discipleship. All right, y'all. Once again, I need you to remember we not going back. We won't go back, y'all. Go vote. Make sure you guys go check your status out for you for voters registration. Please go do it. I'm going on after I get off from here. I'm going online and I'm gonna go make sure whatever I got to do to make sure my driving license number is in place and where it's supposed to be if they need it. If that don't work, I'm calling somebody tomorrow and talk to somebody and see what I need to do, because I want to make sure that everything, my status is intact. My status is on one, and I don't have any problems, because not only that, you need to also make sure you check your voting station, your voting poll, where you normally used to vote, where you normally used to go. 9 times out of 10, it's not going to be the same. Probably gonna end up. You don't want to walk up to a voting station, a voting poll, and get there, and they tell you, and it's 6 o'clock, it's 6:30, and they tell you this is not where you're supposed to be voting. This is not your station. This is not your poll. You got to go way across the street somewhere, and you're not gonna make it by 7 o'clock. All right. Let's not take chances. Let's not take chances. Let's be prepared. Let's be engaged. Let's get it done. And I need everyone talking to someone. We say everyone reach someone, reach one, everyone reach one. Let's reach somebody. Make sure that they're good. Make sure their status is good. Make sure their voting status is good. And make sure they are prepared and they know who to vote for. I can't stand when people call and ask me, well, who we're supposed to vote for? What? Oh, do you have one of those lists that we can just follow along no, come on, guys. We need to know who we're voting for. We need to know our candidates. Once again, on June 8th in Pompano Beach, June 8th, y'all, Pompano Beach at Hopewell Missionary Baptist Church. They're having a forum. They're having a U.S. Senate special election forum that you need to be a part of, and that way you can get to know who's running for Senate. Okay, go ahead and do that if you will. Once again, I thank everyone for joining us this evening. Hey, if you want to join us, you want to be a partner of this South Florida Live podcast. That's the information right there. $ Power of Glory 777, and our Zelle is Jeffrey Brown, JFFERY Brown 2094 at gmail.com. Once again, Cash App $ Power of Glory 777, and our Zelle is Jeffrey Brown, JFFERY Brown 2094 at gmail.com. Thank you so much. There are some things that we want to do, and financially we need your help. If you will, I appreciate it. We are 401c3, so you can you get that back, whatever, by donating. Thank you so much. Blessings to you. Peace and blessings to everyone. Hey, let's go vote. Let's tell somebody about voting. Monday, I'm going to talk about some things that you guys do not want to miss on Monday. Yes, it's going to be a moment. It's going to be a time on Monday. Monday meditation Meditation Monday. Let's talk about the things that matter on Monday. All right. Hey, God bless you. God keep you is my prayer. As I always say, I'll pray for you. Y'all keep praying for me. And y'all, we're going to watch God change this. All right.
Email your idea for show topics to the South Florida Live Show at gmail.com. Thank you for tuning in to South Florida Live with your host, Jeffrey Brown.